this is desperately needed. My son wanted to buy some NFTs, and when we looked at the gas fees, it's a real impediment to the growth of the industry. So I guess, Richard, explain how will the Pulse chain be different than what's already out there?
Sure. So Ethereum is great. It's the first place to have online exchange where you go peer-to-peer without middlemen. The problem is that when you have something that's new and innovative and awesome, but has a limit to how many people can use it, it fills up. And then they try and play games and do game theory to try and get people to just bid less for the space. But the space is still limited and the demand is very high. And because of that, the fees are very high. And the only way to lower those fees is to build extra capacity. That's it. So Ethereum is full, and the fees are on average $30 to send an ERC20, $90 to do a Uniswap swap, hundreds of dollars to mint NFTs. And that's a very high penalty to pay. It's higher than what you pay to use the normal legacy banking system. So if it costs you $30 to $50 to send a bank wire, but it costs you $70 to do an Ethereum transaction, it's not okay. It's not acceptable. Someone has to build that new capacity. And so I did. So what I did is I forked Ethereum, made the blocks quicker so we have at least 4 times higher throughput, but it's really going to be more than that because you make the gas limits higher too. But it starts off at least 4 times quicker with 3-second blocks instead of 13-second blocks. You give everyone the world's largest free airdrop. You give them copies of all their coins. If you have a coin on Ethereum, you're going to have a copy of it on the Pulse chain. You incentivize people to bridge in their Ethereum coins and allow them to trade on the Pulse chain by rewarding them with fees, like as a percentage of the trade volume. To reward them to back the value of the free PRC20s only they got. When you get all these free PRC20s, only your keys can access them. There's no dilution. So there's nobody else getting these copies but you. So your keys that work on the Ethereum chain will also work on the Pulse chain. You don't need to sign up. Nobody needs to know your name. You don't need to do anything except click one button on a website that says change network. And then when it pops up in a Metamask, say, yes, I want to change my network. And then it switches networks from Ethereum to Pulse chain, and then you can have all your coins there. Now you probably have to click, add coin for each one of your coins. But I mean, it's amazing. So it's the world's largest free airdrop. And as you know, my last coin went up in price 10,000 fold in 1.5 years. And that was before staking. It went up maybe double that if you'd staked your coins, depending on how long you staked for. And so people understand the things that I build have amazing game theory, amazing uptime. HEX has had a 100% perfect, flawless operation for years, while everything else around us has had problems. Just yesterday, a bridge contract from Ethereum to Solana was hacked for $250 million on the Ethereum side, another $70 million on the Solana side. That's $320 million lost to a hack. Hexagon users have lost this much dollars to hacks because of HEX.
How will the HEX and Pulse work together? How will they benefit from each other?
Well, because HEX is immutable and can't be changed. No one can stop it. No one can turn it off. It's invincible. The only thing you can do to get these fees down for people is to give them a copy of their coins on a new chain. And now when someone buys in from scratch, they have to choose. Do you want to pay $70 to buy in on Uniswap on Ethereum, or do you want to pay a penny to buy in on Pulse chain? You can lose 70 or you can lose a penny. 99% identical code. So the HEX contract is totally identical, but the substrate that runs on, the Ethereum state, it's 99.9% identical. The only thing that's changed is we use proof of stake instead of proof of work, so we don't destroy the environment. Right now, when your son wants to pay a lot of money to buy an NFT or mine an NFT, that money that he gives the miner gets dumped on the exchange and hurts the Ethereum price to go pay for electricity to destroy the environment. So it's bad for the Ethereum price, it's bad for your son, and it's bad for the environment, and it sucks for everybody involved. It's a negative externality. Pulse chain solves that. We don't have miners that we have to pay. So, and by the way, Ethereum inflates to pay these miners. And so there's constantly more Ethereum supply. In Pulse chain, the supply only goes down because 25% of the fees are burnt and there's no inflation, none. So Pulse chain is the world's largest free airdrop with no inflation that saves the environment and burns 25% of the fees, which causes positive price pressure.
Now, explain the difference between Pulse and PulseX.
Sure. So PulseChain Pulse is a fork of Ethereum, which is a consensus network that you can run things on, like HEX, or like PulseX. PulseX is a fork of Uniswap, which is a peer-to-peer exchange.
Okay.
So for instance, when PulseChain gets forked into existence, and it already works on testnet, you can already test everything. It's been working for months. All those pairs already come. over. But they're not tied to dollars at exchanges yet. And so the majority of people will be off-ramping from this network to real dollars and exchanges by bridging back to Ethereum until direct listings occur. And then once direct listings for the coins on this chain exist, then you don't have to go back to Ethereum. So you'd pay your money to bridge in, and then you could do all the swapping you want on PulseX or Uniswap or SushiSwap or whatever other, front end that you find for the different contracts. And then when you're done swapping around, doing whatever you want to cash out, you bridge back to Ethereum and you cash out until those direct listings appear.
Well, you mentioned a couple times, this was the largest airdrop in history.
Sure.
So talk about that in a little more depth. So what does that mean? Why did you decide to do that? How can somebody get involved?
Sure. Well, I mean, look, if you want to participate in PulseX, over $1 billion has already been sacrificed to do so. So it is a very popular thing to do. If you go to pulsex.com, it'll link you to pulsex.info, and you could just send Ethereum from your wallet that you have the keys to this address, and then we see that you did that, and then you get free PulseX tokens. And the rate goes up, or the rate gets worse 5% every day. So right now you're paying maybe 2x what you would have been paying had you participated a couple of months ago, and it goes up to 10x over the next 20 days. And then PulseChain, you could swap your PulseX for PulseChain in the PulseX system itself when the mainnet launches in a month or two, and maybe you'll get a better rate because the bridge doesn't have it open from Ethereum and you don't have extra fiat energy coming in, maybe. So basically just go to pulsex.com.
Well, I did want to ask you about what steps you've taken to make sure they're secure. You mentioned the hack.
That hack exists because they used a new chain, and that new chain isn't bug-free yet. When you use untested new software, you are going to lose millions and millions of dollars finding out where the bugs are. Ethereum, when it first came out, lost millions and millions and millions of dollars to figure out where all the bugs were. I realize that. I don't want to beta test somebody else's software. I want to use the software that is the most tested, tried and true software that exists. And that's when I tell you 99.9% of the code is identical. It's because we know that's the safest code that exists in the entire world. The Solana guys lost $250 million. Did the Ethereum guys lose any money? No, because the Ethereum guys didn't get hacked. Their stuff worked fine. When you're dealing with software, it's best to use the older, slower stuff with minimal changes to make it better, because you have the least new attack surface that has to be analyzed and looked at. So, the bridge that we're going to use is used by more people and has been used for longer, and therefore just doesn't have the same, a new bug. You don't want to lose $250 million to a new bug. That's why I prefer tried and true, stable, rock solid stuff.
How's crypto going to be in our life in the future?
Well, you can't kill it. You can't get rid of it. I mean, China's banned it and unbanned it 100 times. They even banned mining it. Who cares? How's it working out? It works fine. Cryptocurrency is not going to go away. It's the highest performing, best asset in the history of assets. There's nothing that has ever outperformed cryptocurrency. Nothing, as far as price appreciation has gone. Absolutely nothing. And I don't know about you, but when people buy stocks, I think they want to make money. I don't think they're buying Coca-Cola stock because they're really sugar drink enthusiasts and they care about the technology and the carbonation and the chemical formulas. I think they want to make money. And if you want to make money and protect your value from the government stealing it from inflation, cryptocurrency is the right way to do that. Gold is down from 10 years ago and up from 40 years ago, 2x. That's a terrible investment. You waited 40 years to get a 2x. You waited 10 years and you lost money versus the dollar. Gold's a terrible investment. So what do we have now? We have new and better digital gold and HEX, which pays you yield. If you hold gold, do you make yield on your gold? No. If you hold Bitcoin, do you make yield on your Bitcoin? No. Not unless you engage in massive counterparty risk and give it to somebody else and hope they give you back more, and you get hacked all the time. So HEX is the store of value that lets you earn yield while you just sit and hold your own keys, no counterparty risk. You mint your own rewards, just like a Bitcoin miner would. And so we've got value storage with HEX. We've got the consensus network with PulseChain. We've got the trading with PulseX. We nearly have a fully integrated vertical system. We're just missing fiat on-ramps and wallet. And wallet, it's fine. It works fine. They're not shoving bad advertisements down my users' throats. I don't think they're shoving ads down my users' throats at all, which is why I'm happy to send people to them currently. Yeah. So minus wallet and fiat on-ramp, we're fully, totally vertically integrated.